All right, let's talk about a totally different way to make decisions. It's a framework that works for, everything from a high-stakes boardroom meeting to just figuring out family plans. It's called Baha'i Consultation. And honestly, it's a profound alternative to the way most of us are used to working together. This might just flip the script on how you think about collaboration.
I mean, you know this feeling, right? You walk into a meeting, you're optimistic, you think, okay, we're going to solve this thing. And then you walk out feeling like you've just gone 10 rounds in a boxing ring. All the energy in the room is just gone. And the problem you were trying to solve, it feels even bigger now.
Yeah, this is what we're calling the meeting nightmare. It's just a classic battle of egos, isn't it? Everybody's dug in, defending their idea, instead of looking for the best idea. The goal totally shifts from, let's find the truth together, to, I need to win this. And it's not just draining, it's totally pointless. It doesn't work.
But what if we just changed the goal? What if the point wasn't to win the argument at all? What if, instead, the goal was to discover the truth, together, to find a shared understanding that actually lifts everybody up?
And that, right there, is where this idea of Baha'i consultation comes in. It's a framework that's literally designed to take that meeting nightmare and turn it into something completely different, a process of unified, constructive discovery. It is a radically different way of thinking about how we talk and how we decide things.
So what is it really? Well, at its heart, Baha'i consultation is two things at once. It's a spiritual mindset and a super practical method. The goal isn't just to check a box and make a decision. No, the whole point is to create a space where the truth can actually, come out. It's this collective search for what's truly best for the whole group, not just for one person.
Okay, and this table really nails the difference. Think about a typical debate. It's a zero-sum game, right? The goal is to win. My idea has to be the one that prevails. And what's the outcome? Usually division. But consultation, it just flips the entire script. The goal becomes finding the truth. The focus shifts from my idea to let's find our idea. And the outcome you're aiming for isn't victory, it's unity. Huge difference.
So, okay, how do we even begin to get there? What's really interesting is that the process doesn't start with a bunch of rules for how to talk. It actually starts inside with an internal shift. It's all about calibrating your inner compass before you even walk into the room. It's about the mindset you bring with you before anyone says a word.
And that inner compass, it's guided by a few really core qualities. First, there's purity of motive. Genuinely wanting what's best for everybody. Then comes detachment. And this one is so important. It's the ability to let go of your ego, to not be so attached to your idea. Then you add in humility, seeing yourself as just one part of the whole, and patience, which you are definitely going to need when things get tough.
And ultimately, this all creates the right atmosphere, which is non-negotiable. The whole process really hinges on this foundation of love and harmony. When people feel psychologically safe, they can be open, they can be vulnerable. But the second that feeling of rivalry or suspicion creeps in, the walls go straight up, and real consultation it becomes impossible.
All right, so you've got the inner compass pointed in the right direction. The atmosphere feels right. What now? What are the actual rules of engagement? How does this all translate into the way we actually talk to each other? Well, the first step is all about setting the tone. This could be as simple as starting with a moment of quiet reflection, or maybe a prayer, just to get everyone's hearts turned toward the same higher purpose. And then, when it's your turn to speak, you do it with dignity and care. You're not dropping a truth bomb. You're just offering your opinion as one humble contribution to the bigger picture.
Okay, step 2 is about how we actually engage with the ideas on the table. You should feel totally free to say what you think, with clarity, but always with kindness. And this requires real, deep listening, not just reloading while you wait for your turn to talk, but actually hearing what's being said. And yeah, it should go without saying, but you never ever belittle or mock someone else's thought. Every idea is treated as a gift.
And this leads to a pretty wild idea, one that seems kind of counterintuitive at first. Consultation does not mean avoiding disagreement. Far from it. It actually welcomes it. The thinking is that the real truth doesn't just show up when everyone agrees. It emerges from the clash of differing opinions, as long as that clash is respectful, of course. That friction is what creates the spark of truth.
And this right here might be the most radical and honestly the most transformative part of the whole thing. Just think about this for a second. If you're in a discussion and you realize, you know what, that person's idea is actually better than mine. It's closer to the truth. The idea is not just to sort of grumble and accept it. No, you're supposed to accept it with joy. You let go of your own idea happily because a win for the group is a win for you.
Okay, so the group has talked, they've listened, they've searched for truth together. So what happens now? What's the final step? Well, it's not just about making the decision. The real power of this whole thing shows up in what happens after the decision is made.
And this is the principle that really seals the deal. Once a decision is reached, it doesn't matter if it was unanimous or a majority, it is now the group's decision. It belongs to everyone. Even if you argued for something else, you now get behind this new decision with your whole heart.
And this is how you make sure that unity sticks. There is zero room for "I told you so." You don't leave the room and start criticizing the decision to other people. If you have a new concern, where do you take it? You bring it right back to the group into that same safe space. That's what keeps the group strong and makes sure everyone is actually moving forward as one.
So just take a second and think about it. Imagine applying these principles, detaching from our own egos, having humility, and really committing to unity. Imagine applying that to the toughest conversations in our families, in our workplaces, in our communities. What could we actually achieve? What massive problems could we solve if our goal was always to find the truth together instead of just winning for ourselves?